Hello, I'm Dr. Nicholas Cohen, and I'm here to share with you a top 10 list of tips for raising a happy and healthy 15-month-old. Tip number 1 is take your child to see her pediatrician or family doctor. At this visit, your child will have her height and weight plotted on a growth curve to make sure she's growing appropriately. And she'll also get caught up on any vaccines that she didn't get at the 12-month visit. The vaccines that she will need to be caught up on are hepatitis B, DTaP, which is diphtheria, tetanus, and acellular pertussis, Hib, or Haemophilus influenza B, the pneumococcal vaccine, PCV13, the polio vaccine, IPV, MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella, varicella, and influenza. Tip number 2 is, these are some tips for encouraging good behavior in your toddler. Instead of getting into a power struggle with him over something that he wants to do and something that you don't want him to do, let's say drawing with crayons on the wall, give him a piece of paper to draw on. So instead of getting into a big fight over drawing on some place where you don't want him to draw, have him draw on some place where it's acceptable to draw. Another good strategy is to give choices as much as possible. And you can arrange these choices to be between two options that are acceptable to you. This will lead to less fighting over things that in other areas. For instance, you can give him a choice between applesauce and a banana, or let him choose his favorite book. Learn to praise good behavior in your child, and if your child's behavior is just not acceptable and distraction doesn't work, then a brief timeout is a good strategy. Also, if your child does do something wrong, don't spank. It's important to teach your children to avoid hitting, biting, and other aggressive behavior. And a good way of doing this is to model non-aggressive behavior yourself. Tip number 3 is language development. By 15 months of age, your child should know about 2 or 3 words that your child can use appropriately. And this is in addition to knowing mama and dada. So your child should know 2 or 3 more words in addition to mama and dada. A good way to foster language is to read to your child every day. This was one of my favorite books growing up, Corduroy, and it's appropriate for children at age 15 months. Another tip for language development is to narrate her gestures. For instance, if she's pointing to the stroller, you could say, Sarah's pointing to the stroller. Does Sarah want to go outside? So that although your child might not be able to say what she wants, you could say what she wants. Narrating her gestures will help her learn how to communicate. It's important to avoid television completely up for the first 2 years of life. Tip number 4 is good nutrition. Good nutrition is based on having a well-balanced meal and a snack every time your child eats. Getting 2 to 3 servings of dairy, including milk, yogurt, and cheese. And for beverages other than milk, water is best. And if you do give your child fruit juice, make sure it's 100% fruit juice and that you limit fruit juice to up to 6 ounces. A much better source of fruit is the fruit itself and not fruit juice, because fruit has fiber. Fruit juice is just the fruit with the fiber taken out. Here's a sample menu of a great day of eating for a 15-month-old. You can see that at each meal, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there's at least 3 of the 4 food groups. The food groups are fruits and vegetables, dairy, protein, and whole grains. For snacks, there's at least 2 out of the 4 food groups in each snack. Again, the 4 food groups are fruits and vegetables, dairy, sources of protein, and whole grains. You can see in this child's day, her dairy was 2 ounces of whole milk for her first snack, 2 ounces of whole milk at lunch, half an ounce of cheddar cheese for a snack after lunch, and a 1/4 cup of low-fat yogurt as a snack after dinner. Tip number 5 is dental health. Your child is too young to brush his teeth by himself, so you should do it at this age. And you should brush your child's teeth twice daily, once after breakfast and once after dinner. It's too early. Your child is too young to use toothpaste, so all you need is water and the toothbrush. And you should have your child see the dentist at age 1 and then every 6 months. So schedule your child to see a dentist if he hasn't seen one already. Also, to prevent cavities, don't give your child a bottle full of juice or milk or formula that he takes to bed with him. This will keep those liquids in her mouth for a long time, and this promotes cavities. If you're having your trouble weaning your child from a bottle, then you can give her a bottle filled with water. Tip number 6 is help your child get a good night's sleep. Ways to do this are to make sure you put your child to bed at the same time every night. Tuck him in when he's drowsy and not already asleep. This will help him learn how to go to sleep himself. And if she does awaken during the night, then go in, make sure everything's all right, tuck her back in, and leave. Don't do anything enjoyable for her, or you'll encourage her to wake up in the future. So in other words, don't take her into your bed with you if she is having trouble sleeping. Just check up on her and let her go back to sleep. That's all that's necessary. And you can also give her a stuffed animal or blanket when she goes to bed to help her console herself in the middle of the night if she does wake up. Tip number 7 is to keep your home safe and child-proof. Important things to do are to look for any poisons or toxic household chemicals. Take those out of your house. If there are chemicals that you use for cleaning, for example, keep them out of reach and locked away. Make sure that at the bottom and the top of stairs you have a gate. Make sure that all windows that are on the 2nd or higher floors have window guards. Also, don't put furniture near to windows so that your child is not able to climb onto furniture and get up onto windows. Make sure that you have smoke detectors on every level of your house, especially by the furnace and in sleeping areas. And make sure you check your batteries on your smoke detector regularly. Tip number 8 is avoid secondhand smoke. Make sure that you don't smoke in front of your child, and do your best to quit smoking completely. Even if you don't smoke in front of your child, or even in the same room, or even in the same house as your child, you still have it on your clothes and in your hair. And smoke exposure, even from secondhand smoke that your child breathes from your hair, increases her risks of having lung infections and ear infections. And it can worsen asthma. So it's very important to quit smoking if you do. And if you can't quit smoking right away, then to avoid smoking anywhere near your child. Tip number 9 is car safety. Always make sure your child is in a car seat. Always make sure your child's car seat is in the back seat. And have your child's car seat facing to the rear for as long as is allowed by the manufacturer. And this is almost always up until age 2. And tip number 10, believe in yourself. Having a 15-month-old is a great experience. And these are some tips in raising your child to be healthy and happy. I hope these tips have been helpful. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day.